So if you're over 50 or 60 years old, or even older, and you've decided you want to get six-pack abs, then watch this video and learn a little bit about what happens when you do that, what happens when you achieve that goal, and how it might impact the rest of your life. So the first thing I want to say before we dive in is that if you feel like you're getting value from these videos, please share them with your friends and subscribe, and it'll help me continue to bring more content that hopefully will help you on your fitness journey. So now let's take a look. So there's a lot more guys, it seems like, in my age group, 50s, 60s, 70s even, that want to finally shed their dad bod, make up for all of their past mistakes when it comes to their health and fitness, and get themselves in shape. And of course, we get flooded in the media with pictures of guys with six-pack abs, and they're ripped, their every muscle shows, they got veins popping out everywhere. And somehow we kind of look at that as maybe an ideal, something that ultimately we'd like to achieve, even if we don't think it's possible. So if you want to have six-pack abs, the first thing you're going to have to do is get your body fat level, your body fat percentage down to somewhere in the low teens or even single digits. So maybe the first thing that we should do is take a look at some pictures that show just exactly what that looks like, what various percentages of body fat look like on a man. So let's start off at the high end of the stick, because according to statistics, somewhere around 70% of all Americans over 40 are obese or certainly overweight. So most men in the over 40, over 50, over 60 category are going to start in that particular body fat percentage. So we're going to start and look at a picture of somebody in around the 40% category. So here in 40% category, give or take, you have no definition whatsoever, got a protruding stomach, you can see fat from any angle, front, back, side, it's plainly visible, and this individual probably isn't feeling very healthy. So now we'll drop down into the, let's say, the 20 to 30% range. It's kind of a spectrum, but you still can see plenty of body fat. There's still really no definition. You can't see abdominal muscles. You might be starting to see a little bit more definition in the arms if this individual has been working out, it has some good muscle tone, but you still got a bit of a belly and no abs showing yet. So now we're going to get down into the teens, that zone between 10 and 20%. The lower you go through that zone, the more abs you have. Now, I'm probably running about 15% body fat. So, stomach's pretty flat, but really you can't see a bunch of washboard abs. You can kind of see an ab here and there, but it's not just out there in your face. So that's what you look like between the 10 and 20% zone, probably right in the middle, 15%. That's about where I am. And now we'll just take a look at somebody that's in the single digits. So once you cross over that line, you're into the single digit zone. Now you can start seeing vascularity, you can start seeing veins on your abs, you can see muscle striations in all the muscles, and very lean. At that level, you have very little body fat. So now let's talk about some of the things that happen, some of the challenges associated with even getting down to that six-pack ab, the lower teens, single-digit body fat percentage. First one is going to be how much of a calorie deficit you have to put your body through in order to get there. So let's just use an example. If you're a 220-pound guy and you're at, let's say, 30% body fat, to really get all the way down to, let's say, 10%, you've got to lose 20% of your body weight. So if you're 220 pounds, that's 44 pounds. Now, if you think about that in terms of calorie deficit, each pound of fat is worth about 3,500 calories. So every 10 pounds you've got to lose is 35,000 calories. You've got to put yourself in that much of a deficit. So when you think about that in terms of, a standard daily diet of a couple thousand calories, it's going to take you a while to find a way to have that kind of a deficit. But let's assume that you've got the intestinal fortitude and commitment that you're absolutely going to accomplish that goal, and you set out to create a calorie deficit big enough to get you there. And then you do get there. Are there any adverse health impacts by trying to maintain a body fat level that's down in the single digits? Well, let's go through them one by one. So it's probably a good idea to understand that according to the American Journal for Clinical Nutrition, there is a healthy body fat percentage for men over 40. From 40 on up, you should be between 11% and 21% body fat to be in your optimal health range. There was a study done and published in the International Journal of Sports, Physiology and Performance. That's a mouthful. Anyway, they took a look at bodybuilders, elite bodybuilders, preparing for a contest, a stage performance. These guys take their body fat levels down to the 2, 3, 4% levels. And one of the things they found was that it impaired their heart function. Some of them had heartbeats as low as 27 beats per minute, and they were at risk of actually passing out from low blood pressure and just too slow of a heart rate. So there's a possibility of taking your body fat level low enough that it impacts your heart's ability to function properly. So here's a really important fact. Having an adequate amount of body fat is important for the function of your hormones, for proper function of your hormones. The one hormone that you really don't want to have not functioning as you get older is testosterone. And as we age, we lose testosterone decade after decade. So starving yourself down to a minimal body fat range is going to have an impact on that. And that's going to impact a lot of things. It's going to put you probably in a bad mood most of the time. Your energy levels are going to be lower. And probably more importantly than anything, your muscles are going to get weaker. And probably the most important one is your libido is going to go out the window. So while you might be able to go out and troll the beaches looking good in your Speedo, you might not have the energy to do anything if you happen to get lucky. So another thing that happens when you try and maintain that low of a body fat percentage is that your energy levels plummet. When your body doesn't have any fat reserves for energy and you're operating at a calorie deficit in order to get that body fat that level, you're going to be low on mojo. You're not going to have the energy to function optimally. And here's one that probably you won't think about, but body fat actually acts as somewhat of an insulator to keep you warm. So when you're that lean, when you're operating at the low percentage of body fat, you really don't have any insulation on your body, so you're going to be cold all the time. So, and here's a few more. Your workouts are going to suck because after about 20 minutes of exercise, your body is going to run out of carbohydrates for energy. If there's nothing else left in the tank, your workouts are going to suffer. You're not going to get the benefit. You're just not going to feel the same. They're going to suck. So another thing that happens when you try and maintain that low of a body fat percentage is that your energy levels plummet. When your body doesn't have any fat reserves for energy and you're operating at a calorie deficit in order to get that body fat that level, you're going to be low on mojo. You're not going to have the energy to function optimally. And besides that, your muscles aren't going to recover from the workouts as well because, again, lack of energy. There's just not enough gas in the tank to fuel your muscles recovering from a workout. So you're probably going to lose some muscle mass trying to get down. In fact, you're not just probably, you are going to lose muscle mass trying to get that lean. And one more thing, your skin. As you age, your skin already has some challenges when it comes to looking good. But when you're starving yourself down, when you're attempting to maintain a super low body fat percentage, your skin, you tend to not drink as much water and you not have the carbohydrates, so your skin tends to lose some elasticity and the water gets sucked out of your skin and rerouted to your vital organs. So your skin can look like crap too. Not a great benefit. So here's the obvious one. You're constantly going to be hungry. The more time you spend eating nothing but chicken breasts and broccoli, the more you're going to want to go off the rails and eat a pizza, have a beer, all those kind of things. So get ready to be hungry a lot. So I guess the main point I'm trying to make is there is a downside to trying to get yourself down to those super low body fat percentages, that most guys that you see in these pictures have only done that just for a brief period of time. They don't maintain that year round. They get down to that for a photo shoot or for an event. And that's it. Then they go back to a more normal, more maintainable lifestyle, or they're going to be sick all the time. So my focus here is on functional fitness. And functional fitness to me, besides the races and things that I do, the competitions I do, functional fitness to me, what's important about that is being able to go on a 2.5 mile hike with my grandkids like I did this weekend, and there was nothing that they wanted to do that I couldn't do too. So I can enjoy life, I'm mobile, and I can live at a much higher level than if I'm running around at 40% body fat and sick, or if I'm at 3% body fat and I've got to watch every calorie that I put in, and I run out of gas before the game is over. So I hope that was helpful information. And just as a final note, before you get too wrapped up in looking like a swimsuit model, think more in terms of longevity and in terms of functional fitness, of how you're going to be able to live your life for the long term, not for just a week. Thanks for watching.